is you need to lay down. We'll leave you alone. Just keep the arm so the officer can see it.
I've been doing that for 2 days. Yep. If you gave me a book...
At the Maine Correctional Center in Windham, on June 10, 2012, inmate Paul Schlosser was removed from his cell after pulling the dressing off a self-inflicted wound on his arm and refusing to go to the prison's medical unit. After extracting him from the cell, corrections officers put him in a restraint chair so that he could receive medical treatment. While officers tried to reposition his arms, Schlosser spit at a guard and was then sprayed at close range with a pepper spray device that is meant to be used at a greater distance against multiple inmates. Captain Sean Welch, who deployed the pepper spray and was overseeing the extraction, was slated to be fired, but after an appeal, received a suspension instead.
Knock it off. I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Don't get off my head, Captain.
That's the Captain.
Knock it off.
Oh!
Captain, I can't breathe!
I don't understand how I mean, I guess that's their form of punishment so that he doesn't do it again. But if he doesn't remember what he did to get to that point, except for what they tell him, how's he gonna learn from that? Hi, honey, I got you on speakerphone.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
So I was on Vicodin, I was on Addendum, and they had me on Thorazine. I don't know why. And I don't really remember the beginning. I can tell you, more details towards the end. But I was so out of it. I don't recall really even them asking me to, to come, to get cleaned up, I guess, in there. And they had me all strapped in. And I think an officer was behind me. They're all suited up. And I think one of them had his finger in my eye. And I was upset. And I leaned back and I spit. On one of these officers, he captain, he had maced me with a big hamster mace, and I couldn't breathe, and it was just an awful claustrophobic. It wasn't even the burn that really bothered me. It was I could not breathe. This stuff, you can't breathe when they hit you with it.
But in these environments, it is difficult. So we're asking people to kind of do superhuman tasks to a degree, and have a very high expectation of how they manage that. In this case, it was not managed well. So when you look at this situation, there was, as I've said, there was good reason for the initial piece of this. So there was good reason why he was taken out of the cell. There was good reason for him to be in a restraint chair. He does attempt to spit on staff, so the application of chemical was the wrong canister, but the dialogue after tends to be a problem for all of us. As you get into some of the dialogue about you're going to behave yourself now, so it's almost like the threat of punishment is going to be sitting in a restraint chair or a blanket. That's a problem. So we looked at this case, looked at the overall years of service and performance, which have all been very good. One bad incident here with some mistakes in judgment, with a well-structured agreement being kind of a last chance agreement, so anything else is straight termination, no appeal, that this was the best for the employee and best for the agency.